Magis Theatre Company chooses projects that speak to our current time. One of our most burning issues is the economic crisis. We look to Aristophanes' comedy, Plutus, the God of Wealth, as the basis for our new project, Occupy Olympus. And we organize 2 open rehearsals to get audience feedback from our treatment of the material.
What would you say was the most memorable thing about the presentation that you just saw?
The speech of the Just Man.
The most memorable moment for me was little Edie coming out.
I guess the idea, I don't know if it's a moment, but the idea that when you redistribute the wealth, it doesn't always work out.
I enjoyed seeing your part, actually. The wealthy, what's his name?
Man. The poverty scene, I thought, was one of the more provocative, intellectually provocative. Maybe just because some of the arguments were familiar in it, I don't know. It was, although inverted in strange ways as well, and complicated, but and presenting the simple facts of the matter.
Right.
You know, which were the same facts for the next 2,000 years, you know, and not changed much.
The story revolves around a common man named Kremulus, who is trying to prepare his son to be successful in the world. He wants to know if he should raise him according to virtue, which has gotten him nothing, or teach him the ways of his neighbors, the scoundrels and cheats, who seem to be doing quite well in the world. He goes to the oracle of Apollo and asks what he must do.
And I asked, whose way of life should my son follow? Apollo told me in no uncertain terms,
you must follow the first person you see upon leaving the temple and welcome him into your home.
And with that, he vanished.
Who was the first person you met?
This blind man.
Plutus' blindness prevents him from giving his wealth only to those most deserving. So Kremulus embarks on a quest to get it back, all but battling with the gods to do so.
I think that when you're talking about 99% or 1% of a population, when you're talking about that 1%, surely they can't relate to en masse to that large group of people, because they really cannot relate. I've come across super wealthy people and I don't think they get it.
And but once I realized she was this voice of poverty, it was wonderful. I loved listening to the voice of poverty through, this mask of little Edie.
Then why does all mankind have to be free? Because I make them better.
I would raise some of the questions that I like what we were asked to write about when we came in, and that already got me thinking about these economic questions.
Getting audience members to write down their own questions and concerns and instantly weaving some of them into the show each night, incorporating moments for audience participation, and presenting our new take on Aristophanes' material inspired a lively exchange that followed.
Give more power to the people, I think. Take some power away from central government and let the community take care of themselves a bit more so that they can stop blaming the big guys, and so that we have a more dynamic, involved community.
Well, there's the ongoing problem that we've been talking about for 3,000 years, as you say.
The question about the value of work, what counts as labor. I liked how concrete the scene was in describing like different things that people do, like the questions that they were able to ask. And I liked how that got to the essential question of like, who benefits from the labor that is done? And I just felt like the final point that was made in that speech about like, where does our money come from? Does it come from work? Does it come from is it given to us, or does it come through thievery? It was done in like an inviting enough way where I was able to like consider that question for my own life, and to like, I started like automatically doing this self-analysis of like my labor and the money that I have, where does it come from, and how does that touch into thievery in some way? So yeah, I mean, it just like raised all these moral questions for me, and I felt like I sort of stayed with that through the end of the performance.
Oh, great.
One of the several elephants in the room, increasingly small room, is the degree to which the deficit is about military spending. I mean, that's just plain arithmetic, but you can't talk about that. Weird. It's very weird. You can't talk about that.
Maybe it is the fact that the wealthy don't understand the plight of the poor because they're never in their shoes. I mean, something like this showed that once they're in their shoes, they'll understand it. Maybe they would treat people differently.
We're excited where it's going, and we hope to have the opportunity to bring it to many more audiences in the future. Thanks for your consideration. We're the Magis Theatre Company.